Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Martin Dreyfuss Show. Welcome back to our continued coverage of the Russia and Ukraine conflict. Perhaps the biggest news so far in this war has just broken, and it's the fact that China is not only not condemning Russia's actions, which no one is surprised by, they're literally invading other countries themselves, but is going to potentially aid Russia. And if that takes place, we are really starting to see the preamble of World War III potentially take place. So the U.S. has warned China about this action, as well as the U.S. has warned its fellow allies that China might be willing to do this. So without any further ado, here's the news, man.
The National Security Advisor and our delegation raised directly and very clearly our concerns about the PRC's support to Russia in the wake of the invasion.
The PRC is the People's Republic of China, for anyone who is not clear.
And the implications that any such support would have for the PRC's relationship not only with us, but for its relationships around the world. That includes our allies and partners in Europe and in the Indo-Pacific. The purpose of this meeting, and you will hear more from the White House later today, I expect, was to convey very clearly our concerns and to discuss the implications.
Well, the issue arises that we are now standing and saying the United States, our allies, the West, the allies, right, from World War II and all the rest of us, have a better world economy than China, Russia, and their allies. So essentially what is going on is if China supports Russia, we're condemning them. We're saying, all right, now we got problems, which all that means is we're now separating probably the second being China and the third being Russia, biggest superpowers in the world, from the biggest superpower in the world being the United States of America, at least militarily wise, which is just setting up for, unfortunately, World War III, because you're now pitting a lot of tension against each other and making a lot of things have to fall into place for a war not to happen, rather than a lot of things having to fall in place for a war to happen. So, you know, we continue with these warnings, and the only fear I have is if I'm President Xi, when I'm thinking about being President Vladimir Putin, if the U.S. is warning me, am I sitting back saying, oh, I should be scared? Or am I sitting back saying, who the hell do they think they are to warn me? All right, let's see what's going to actually happen. Let's see if you can back what the hell you're talking about. So these warnings can go one of two ways, and the fact that China didn't condemn Russia doesn't surprise me again, but the fact that they are willing to aid them would be surprising and perhaps the most dangerous part of this war.
What I will say is that we are watching very closely the extent to which the PRC, or any other country for that matter, provides any form of support, whether that's material support, whether that's economic support, whether that's financial support, to Russia. Any such support from anywhere in the world would be of great concern to us.
Of course it would be, because it's going to be starting to create sides to the war, of course. But of course you say the rest of the world to just leave this little political, like, crumb, like, it's not just China, right? But they're aiming at China. China is the biggest country in the world. Their economy rivals America's now. And if they were to then start backing Russia, there would be, it'd almost be like a arms race, an aid race. It would be a complete disaster is what it would be. And that's why he's raising these concerns. But I'm worried about the fact that we give out warnings, because as a human being, if somebody's coming up to me saying, oh, you better not do that, you know, because if you do this, then I'm going to beat you up. I'm going to look at you. A lot of people look at you and laugh. You're going to beat me up for doing something? I'd like to see you try. And when we're talking about, you know, two people, that's one thing. When we're talking about two military superpowers, it's a lot more dangerous of a ball game.